Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop RPGs with friends. This is part of Star Wars Saturdays, even though it's actually technically on a Sunday. It's a Saturday somewhere. Hashtag time travel. I don't know. I call it Star Wars Saturdays because I prosaically name things. This is Star Wars RPGs that I usually run on Saturdays. It's been an anthology campaign I've been running since 2017 for the Gauntlet, which is this online group of fans, aficionados, and fanatics of small press, indie, and OSR tabletop RPGs. We are kicking off a two-shot of a game called Rovers. Rovers is a game created by Cat Ramen. It's free to download. You can check out our website, Aviatrix Games, and you can grab a copy yourself. It hacks the World of Dungeons Turbo rules set. Those are a lot of words to describe something that just it's like a few pages of mini game, but it's more than competent to give us what we need to have a good time. It uses the core rolling of Powered by the Apocalypse games. You roll 2d6 plus a stat. You're looking for as high a number as possible. And if you get 7 to 9, a partial success, 10 to 11 is a full success, 12 or more is a critical success. And on a 6 or less, it's called a miss. And it means me, the MC or the GM will determine how things turn out badly. It does not mean that your character failed at their action. It just means that there's a complication or something that's gone badly. So the original pitch for this game series, I decided to flip to the Rovers mechanics, but trying to keep the idea of this being a crew of salvagers, people that are known for stripping ships and grabbing what's important out of them. I think that's going to be cool. I am utilizing as a core idea for our first little job, something that I snagged from an Edge of the Empire module, but I'm only using just a little bit of the inspiration. I thought it was a fun little romp. We'll see how it goes. So that out of the way, remind everyone we do have safety tools, very important for making your game better. It's lines and veils and ask first that we're using. Lines meaning this is a line we will not cross. This is content that we are not going to delve into. And if someone steps into it, we will gently remind them, hey, I think we've got a line on that. Then we'll pull back from that. Veils are things that we're okay if this exists in the world, but we're not going to shine a spotlight on it. We will quickly move forward if that content comes out. Then the last bit is ask first, which means before you introduce this content, like for example, I have midichlorians as an ask first because it really is situational with different Star Wars players I've found. And so if I were to consider explaining that someone had a high midichlorian count to describe a particular NPC, I first would just check in and say, hey guys, is it cool if I touch on this midichlorian count for this character? And if any one of you think, oh my God, seriously, do I have to deal with midichlorians? It totally ruined the prequels for me, or whatever damage you have that you don't want to deal with midichlorians, say, can you try it a different way? I certainly will. There are other ways that I can say this is a person with great potential. In fact, there are many better ways to say that. One might say the idea of taking science fantasy and trying to make it more scientific. It's just a little odd. Not everybody loves it. Funny enough, though, context does count because when M count was mentioned in The Mandalorian, I didn't bat an eye. I don't know why that is. I can't explain it, friends. But that's why Ask First is so important. On top of that, we have the X card. The X card is the full stop. It's the thing where you didn't realize you need to do a line and veil. You didn't think that this was going to be part of our conversation or a game, but it did, and it bothers you. And it's the point where you feel uncomfortable. You're like, this isn't my kind of Star Wars. All you need to do is say, hey, I need to X card that, Rich. Or we found, if you look in the Zoom meeting, there are reactions, and you can do one of these. It tickles me. No. It's dorky, but it makes me happy. So you can actually do that if you want. It's like 2 or 3 button clicks. So if it's easier for you to say, hey, I need to X card this or type it into chat, what will happen is as you play an X card, I'm going to pause the game. I'll check in with you to make sure I understand what's being X-carded if it's not clear for whatever reason. And then you don't have to explain why. You don't have to defend yourself. I'm not going to attack it. I'm not going to try to tease around it. It's been X-carded. It's off the table. We'll excise that content from our play, and then we'll move on. It will not be a roadblock to our fun. We've got 4 beautiful brains here. I guarantee that one of us will come up with a different way to get to the place that we need to in the story to continue forward. So characters have just been created. This will be the first time that folks are introducing each other. This is an extant salvaging team. So you guys all know each other. You haven't met at the cantina for the first time for a job posting. You've worked together. I'm going to start from the left-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the right, which means, Greg, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Sure. Hey, I'm Greg Gelder. I am playing, I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Supeth Nick, who also uses he, him pronouns. He is are you ready for this? Hold on. I'm excited about this emojis thing. Hold on. He's a Godel. Godels are the goat people of Star Wars. They're seen in many cantina scenes. They have like 2 horns that kind of come up above their heads. They're all across the galaxy. Supeth is an ex-Republic commando, and the war is over according to he's an ex-rebel commando. He doesn't think the Republic should be there yet. They're all ready to govern, and Supeth is not ready to stop fighting. Not exactly sure if it's a vengeance thing. It probably is. We'll find out more about that in play. I've taken commando, which allows me to use extra stamina to kind of push a roll. And I am the pilot of our ship that doesn't have a name, but we'll get to that later at some point if it becomes important.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Greg. Next up, returning to Star Wars Saturdays is Pavel. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character, please.
Hello, I'm Pavel. I'm playing Nabana. We both use he, him pronoun. Nabana is a Twi'lek man. He is a scrapper, salvager, all life. He has some connections to people everywhere, doing various jobs. He unfortunately lost one of his, and now I forgot the name for the Twi'lek. It has a specific name.
Leku. He lost one of his Leku. There's only like it's been torn apart and like taken care of, but yeah, he only has one Leku, unfortunately. Kind of like a grizzled guy that joined this crew, and we will see how he manages. Excellent. Thanks, Pavel. And last but certainly not least, it's my buddy Kai. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kai. I use they, them pronouns. I am back for another Star Wars game, and I am playing Janusz, a Jawa merchant, I guess. I clicked on merchant. And he has a gun that's bigger than he is, called a TL-50, I think. And he wants to become Baron of the Jawas, because that's something I can click on the sheet to become a Baron. And what that means to me is that he's got to come back to his tribe with something incredible. And so he is here to find something beyond Jawa belief. And Janusz, that means let's go.
It means let's go. All right. Fantastic. The 3 of you do fly around in a particular starship. It's it's a freighter. She's in decent shape. But we start off with that ship landing in the planet of Tarina, which is in the Elrud sector. The Elrud sector is, if you look in the galaxy maps section, the Elrud sector is over underneath column T I've highlighted that particular column. So T90, if you take a look there, the Elrod sector is just north, if you think of compass directions in space, north of the Minos cluster. And you have landed at the plain of Tarina, and you have a contact named Banu. Banu was a former smuggler who's worked the Elrod sector for a number of years. Like that's just his circuit. He has not really smuggled anything outside of the Elrod sector. He, if asked, would say that's because to be a good smuggler, you need to be able to know all the ins and outs. And who could possibly know the ins and outs of the entire galaxy? Now, I'm curious, which one of you, let's say, within the last couple of years, which one of you had something smuggled by the crew that Banu was on? And whoever answers first gets it, and it's totally cool. You're not, other people get cool questions as well.
I'm okay with that. It's I think Banu brought like supplies during the war to an operation when I was being commando. They smuggled in just those proton detonators that they use in Return of the Jedi to blow up the shield generator. It was just crates and crates of those that we needed.
Nice. Came in at just the right time, smuggled in that stuff for you. He's the astragator for this crew. And that was a long time ago, right? It was maybe early in your career, but you could tell, maybe you can't tell the age of Duros because they're weird alien dudes, but he's got some wrinkles. He's seen some stuff. That is an awesome background for Janusz. That's good stuff. Sorry, let's go. It's so fun. So yeah, you could tell he's been around the block at that time. Now, Nabana, Banu, was it over a drink or somewhere else when the two of you had a conversation? He shared with you just recently that he's been looking to get out of the game. And he told you that he had a line on a real nice villa, which, by the way, is the place where you guys have just landed at his villa. But where was it that you guys had that conversation? He shared with you, hey, I'm looking to get out of the game. I just need one more ride and I'm good.
Does the planet we are on have some kind of like a space station?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably a nice bar with a view on the planet. Because that's where all the ships dock to unload rather than land on the planets. So both Banu and I are frequent guests at this space station on this planet because it saves time for landing on the planet, saves fuel engines, and a good place to meet. Less ice.
Yeah, I like that. So you guys have just landed here. We see you walk across. This is a terraformed planet, so it's relatively verdant. It's a smaller planet, like bigger than a planetoid, but not by much. Does have the spaceport. It is in the Elrod sector. It's got beautiful horizons. And as you guys arrive, you leave your ship. You see that Banu is sitting on the veranda of his little tropical villa. He's got one of his legs suspended and immobilized in a Bacta tube cast. And he's just sitting there with like a little tumbler, little bits of icing here clinking a little bit as you guys start walking up. And he says, Nabana, Subith.
Banu, I see you're taking this retirement idea really seriously now.
Yeah, well, I guess fate had it in me. We had a rough last ride. I got to be honest with you. He takes a sip and he peers at you, Yanush. So how does Banu know Yanush, or does he?
Yeah, I've got this reputation, right? Like, the way I see Jawas is they're always together, and I'm a solitary Jawa. I've got a mission in mind, and people just note me because I'm by myself, generally, and then they note me for the fact that I carry around a gun that's bigger than I am. So I think I've just got a reputation as a wild card. Like,
nice.
If you want to see some chaos, throw in Yanush. So
does Banu know you by reputation only, or have the two of you ever sat down and shared a drink or an escapade?
I think he was hunkered down. Some people were firing at him, and like, not that we made a deal or even knew each other, but I came out of nowhere and just started firing down the street, and he was able to run away. But he's never been able to talk to me since then. So, like, met sort of, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. So he peers at you and he says, "You've been riding with Yanush?" Or no, he doesn't even know your name, right? You've been riding with this one? Oh, hey there, friend.
Yeah. Do you know Janusz?
Yanush. Well met. I'm Banu. We were in a bit of a scrap, and Janusz saved my shed.
Let me guess, with his huge gun.
Wasn't with his sparkling personality, I would assume.
Or with his aim.
Chibi! He calls over his head. Chibi! You guys, do you want some ale, right?
Sure.
3 ales. And then you hear the burbling sound of an astromech droid, and very quickly a little droid zips out and has on top of its like dome some drinks in a decanter. Little arm comes out and it starts pouring, and the arm, like, it misses the decanter the first 2 times, and then it just kind of splooshes, and there's a rim on the tray, you realize, for a reason, because this astromech droid doesn't have the best aim. He says, listen, I've got a primo job, and if I could do it, even though I'm retired, I'd probably try to pull it off. But as you can see, he points, not really mobile. I really like the 3 of you guys, and I think we can work out an amicable arrangement where you more than earn the effort, and then I get a little bit more to pay off the rest of my villa. There's this work I want done. I really need to repaint a couple of rooms, put up some sound panels. It's a little echoey in there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a perfect idea. Since there's the 4 of us on it, then I think an equal split of 25% each will be agreeable.
You gotta. That's a lot. That's a lot. So he pauses, but let's see if you can talk him into it. So we will quickly move through. Like, we're not going to have a long, drawn out negotiation here, but I do think dropping it to some kind of roll to see how he takes that sounds good.
While he's distracted, I'm going to try to repair this droid.
Cool. So awareness, smarts, and guile feels like the attribute that's being pulled here, right? Definitely not fighting. You're not using your willpower. Just trying to be aware and smart. So Nabana, let's have you make a wit roll. Unless you wanted to waste that connections right now, but I think you could save that.
9.
looks like a 9. Okay, on a 7 to 9, that's a mixed success. I think what we're going to get out of that is he says, thinking more like 60-40. It's my ship you're going after. It's my astrogation stuff. It's me who's got the contacts. It's kind of a fetch mission. Should be easy peasy. It's really about getting there quick. I'm doing you a favor. 60-40, what do you think?
Which way is the 60? That's the important part.
Mixed success, he'll say, 60 yours, 20 for each of you 3.
I look at the others. Doesn't that sound like a fair deal?
Just getting some star charts.
Yeah, Supeth. So listen, you guys remember my old G-Troc 720 freighter, the Dawn's Damsel, right? Well, a few months ago, we came under attack for some pirates near Lanthrim, and I had to calculate this emergency hyperspace jump to get us out of danger. It was crazy, friends. The jump, if I say so myself, was nothing short of a miracle. And then he starts going into like a really colorful description of some of the things that he used. Like he thinks of astrogation as like art. And so as he's going on and on, Janusz, you said you wanted to try to fix on that astromech droid. So let's see how you pull that off.
Are you trying to do this like subtly?
Yeah.
Janusz? Are you being overt about this?
So again, this is my interpretation of Jawas. Droids are kind of public property. So there's no subtlety needed because I'm just fixing a droid that happens to be nearby because it's not pouring me enough ale, and I want to make sure it gets it into my cup next time. So
Supeth is definitely doing the like.
Well, I will say that you can make a wit roll if you want to try to fix this thing. You do techie stuff like repair the hyperdrive or hack a computer. You're good at that skill. So a skill, does that give you a +1? Or does it just say you can do it? That's an interesting.
I think that's an allowance.
Okay, an allowance. Yeah, so you're the only one who can really repair this stuff. Let's have you make a smarts roll. A wits roll.
Wit. Yeah.
Wit roll.
So I'm going to, realizing now more about my character, I'm going to switch my wit and grit values.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So I have the ability to repair things. I will do so with wits at 2d6 +2. +2. $13.
Wow. Yeah, you realize that this poor little guy's got a bad motivator. You can actually like file that thing around and fix it right here, right now.
Until someone stops.
If it's a thing that Janusz wants to do without making it obvious with that 13, you could just do it and Banu will be none the wiser. He's so excited about his story of the amazing astrogation calculation he did. Or do you want him to see you fixing, or do you care? You don't care, right?
I don't care. But if he's not going to notice me, then I might be just walking around his villa, looking at what he has in his house.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just kind of get up and toddle around. You've got this thing. The astromech starts following you.
Yeah, it does.
It starts following you, and you go around. You see that he's got a real nice holo projector. He's paused. He's watching Hearts of the Force for like the 10th time. And there's this awesome galaxy map that he's got splayed up in like a hollow projection in another room. So he goes on with his story with the two of you. Like he doesn't even notice Janusz is left. He's so excited about telling Nabana and Supeth this story. But he says, so it really was a 1 in a million chance, but I felt like I could pull it off. So I dropped in the coordinates. Like I said, it was nothing short of a miracle. We jumped straight through the drift, clear to the other side of the drift, this cloud of stellar gas and dust that runs through the entirety of the Elrud sector. Everybody has to go around it. And we went straight through. No one, friends, has ever recorded an astrogation plot through the drift, and I pulled it off. Now, you might think that I'm just bragging, and I kind of am, but with a properly charted hyperspace route through the drift would take years at sublight speeds off. There are no routes that exist anywhere that can take vessels through the drift. There's a market for that route, right? There are corporations that would pay thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of credits for that route. The astrogation data is on the Dom's Damsel.
Supeth will sort of cock his head to one side. So who else saw you do this jump?
Oh, well, the rest of my crew, but that's where the bad news happens. See, we get on the other side of the drift, and trying to smuggle these goods to Darylin. We were caught by a patrol craft. The ship was nearly destroyed. I lost the rest of the crew. That was it. The damsel was a total loss. I was laid up in a hospital. The ship was consigned to scrap. And I decided to take off as soon as I was able to move. So I've done a little bit of work, and I found out that the ship has been taken to the junkyard world of Korad. You know, there are a lot of scavengers on Korad. It's only a matter of time before our ship gets picked over. They take most of the valuable parts, hyperdrive, weapons, computer systems. But it's only been a few weeks, friend. So there might be a chance that nobody's stumbled across the ship, or maybe they haven't ripped out the Navicomputer. That's where you come in. So you guys, if you can head to Korad, it's just a quick jump away. Find the Dawn's Damsel. 60 to you, 40 to me. I handle all the sales. I'm willing to give you guys 10,000 credits up front to go do this thing. That's enough to buy your own damn speeder.
Abana, your marvelous story about how you make this jump is quite fascinating. I would really love to go and to retrieve this data for you. If you're paying upfront, that's even better.
Oh, wait. Supeth will turn and spit on the ground when Korad is mentioned.
Supeth has bad. You have bad
Supeth.
memories of Supeth
It's
of
Korad.
Korad. Yeah, Korad, bad juju. He says, the way I see it, it's investment, right? The 60-40 stays. The 10,000 is yours for making the trip, but it'll be part of the 60-40. You get it back to me. I sell it. You get 60%. It's going to be more on top of that. I guarantee you. I've got a line already out. You have to be careful. You got to work through channels, right? Some of these corporations, they send troubleshooting teams, try to extract the data themselves. That's definitely not what I want. So let's cut to Janusz. What are you doing in Banu's little villa as this conversation, the deal is going on?
Well, I mean, in the back of my head, I'm calculating like how much I would sell this place for, if somebody were, to come by. So I'm evaluating things. I guess I'm just looking for anything that contradicts what I'm hearing from the veranda, because I imagine this guy keeps talking really loudly, so it's not impossible for me to hear him talking. And actually, if I might, I've heard this story before. So when he was telling another group of people that he wanted to go and get this done, that's when they decided that they were just going to be like, no, we're going to take all the money, and that's when it became a blaster duel out in the street. And I decided, I'm gonna let this guy live. I might need him one day. So I've already heard this story.
So he hit somebody else. He hit up a different group earlier, and they tried to screw him over. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So I'm just looking for anything in his house that contradicts him.
Cool.
Like, I don't know. If nothing's there, nothing's there. I don't care. I'm just being kind of a dick and going through his house.
Sure.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's A-okay. So here's what you get. First of all, this idea of mathematical calculations being a form of art, like he embodies that in his house. You see that there are these like stringed neon things of various numbers and symbols that are just this weird little, like you string it together, it's actually an astrogation coordinate to get you to a different area. It's just been made into some little piece of neon string art that he has. Like he's really into this stuff. And as far as you can tell, he has saved a lot of money. Like there are things that are tastefully done here that he's probably saved for a long time to have this villa. Like this is important to him. He could probably do without the sales of this thing. The vibe you get is that maybe he just doesn't want to let that beautiful calculation go into anybody else's hands. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I and I'm imagining along what you're talking about is, how those people will set up the they'll set up mobiles where like it looks like it's nothing, but if you spin it just right, it turns into something. It's like so it's like a gravity well, like like the way the computers in Star Wars showed the gravity well of a planet or whatever. It's just like it'll show you like a gravity well or something like that. Like I can see all this stuff in his house. Is there any sign that anybody else lives here, or is it just him?
I mean, him and
Chibi.
Him and Chibi, the astromech droid. That's it. Which is funny because you can tell he's an astrogation engineer, but he has an astromech droid.
Huh. I mean, I guess what I'll do is I'll just I'll get Chibi to open up a port, and I'll just copy what he knows onto a little thing, and then I'll just come back out as if I'd been there all along.
Cool.
Just in case I need to know something about him later on or something like that. Then
absolutely.
Also, it probably includes the plans for the house, so that'll make it easier to sell if I ever end up selling it. So,
the plans to the what?
The building plans to the house, the veranda.
Oh, yeah, sure,
or whatever. Not the veranda, the villa. I don't know. Yeah, just.
Yeah, you got it. It's all good.
All right, I come back out then.
All right, you guys got any more questions? I don't mean to rush you, but you should hurry.
So you want us to take one of your rented ships, or can we take ours?
You should probably take yours. I
Oh, yeah, that's
I
great.
actually got back here through another friend. I don't have a ship right now.
Yeah, that's great. No more questions. Supet?
I'm good. Supeth is assuming that
Janusz.
anything else he finds on the ship is also his. Sorry.
Oh, Janusz totally goes with that. Like he's going to claim whatever.
Yeah. Just one more thing. You mentioned you were smuggling some cargo, probably some hidden compartment. Just in case it's still intact, where can we find it? Maybe we can complete the deal after all.
Listen, the astrogation coordinates are all I care about. If it motivates you guys to strip that thing on your own, whatever else you get, whatever you get.
What would we get?
Well, seeing as how a patrol craft took us down, they probably confiscated everything that was worth anything, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
That doesn't answer the question.
A little bit of spice. It's under the aft smuggling compartment. Best of luck to you, friend.
Spice.
Cool. Good to know. We'll take a look if the aft is still in any kind of shape. Cool. I'll message you when you find it.
All right. Good. So we jump to you guys getting on the ship. Again, no one, like, I'm not worried if somebody has the pilot skill or background or whatever, but who is in the cockpit? You can
I'm
fly.
the pilot.
Okay, cool.
I'm the pilot. Yeah. Put on my boaty glasses.
Oh, you did take pilot. Cool. I just didn't want anybody.
Yeah, and I named the ship the Naboo Pilgrim, which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Generator as well.
Yay, generators. Sweet.
She's a big old hunk of junk. And she sounds like Sebulba's pod racer with that, like, it's got 7 bolts loose locomotive sound.
Nice. I love it. Cool. So I would say that you guys are aware that Korad is a junkyard planet. It's in the Elrud sector here. It's only a 4-hour trip with the most basic hyperdrive engine. The Korad used to be, in the Rebellion era, it was under the control of an Old Republic company. Let's say Rebellion, Old Republic, not Old Republic. Under the Old Republic, it was owned by a company called Renew. They used it for metal reclamation, wreck salvage, but then the company went under during the Imperial Rise, and it's just become a dumping ground for derelict ships, machinery, waste, all that kind of stuff. It's a largely independent world, but there are salvagers and scavengers frequently combing the surface for anything of value. So you guys go into hyperspace, and when you come out of hyperspace, you see that you see Korad. At first, the planet looks like it has a ring, but as the Pilgrim comes closer, you realize that ring is actually made of man-made debris. There are century-old starship husks from the Old Republic and other detritus drifting slowly around the world. From far away, it's totally a Monet, right? It's beautiful from far away, but once you get closer, it looks pretty rough, kind of like Paul's background.
Awesome. I love the visuals. A quick question before we can take a break. Do we get mustering out? Is it like permanent, or is it like permission, the mustering out?
No, the mustering. Well, that's a great question. My understanding is from mustering out is part of the character. Mustering out happens within the character creation thing, but let's see. One
it's
benefit
perfect.
from
So
the list.
Yeah, you have mustering out is like permanent equipment for your character.
Right.
And then load is very Blades in the Darkish, where you pick a level and you can take that many things.
So I'm really curious why there are creds in mastering out.
If you take creds, that means you can just use it to buy stuff at the time. That's a fair question.
Yeah, because I was pondering followers, but since we have an ex-commander, we probably don't have grants with us. Yeah, I guess my contribution is I always have some cash with me because I know people who knows people who know people, and it's always
That's
good to have
true.
some cash.
That rolls right in with your connections and survivals. That's pretty cool.
Is
I like
someone else
that.
in the cockpit with me?
I think Nabana is there because they know, like, we need someone to operate other systems than the piloting, so probably Nabana is doing this.
Yeah, I think Supeth, when we come out of hyperspace at Korad, spits on the ground again, which was really gross in the cockpit. Mumble something about rebel defectors. The only thing Supeth hates more than the Empire is people who defected from the rebellion, and he knows a few who came to Korad. These are they left the Rebel Alliance to be scrappers because they could get better money.
Supeth, are you expecting some trouble? I rarely see you so rallied up.
I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Some old friends, or are you expecting some stormtrooper ambush?
Banu plays both sides.
Cool. Let me call one of my contacts so that we can know where exactly is that ship. Otherwise, we would spend like half a day scanning for everywhere, and probably like everyone will know we are searching for something. So
awesome. As Nabana, you start reaching out. You guys pass by this ancient debris field. Supeth, your ship receives a transmission from the planet below. It's a pre-recorded voice welcoming you to Korad, invites you to land at a small automated landing pad at the planet's north pole. Now, this is a planet literally littered with junk and old wrecks. So there are not many viable places to land. You could probably search for one if you don't want to land at that automated landing pad, but it's a little dangerous. It's one of those where something could look like you could land on top of this ship, but then whatever's underneath it's not very stable, so you kind of sink below. A little dangerous, but if you wanted to literally roll the dice, you are more than welcome to. But let's cut to Nabana. You said you wanted to use your connections, right?
A question about landing. Do you guys think we have one of those extra? Do you think we have shuttle or our own ATV, or there is like even assault shuttle? But I don't think we have assault do you think we have a shuttle or ATV? I think a shuttle is a good thing for our ship to have an extra shuttle from extra fittings, which means we probably don't even have to land. We can just like go down on the shuttle. But that's just a general question.
To me, I think a speeder might be a little more fun.
It's fun, but if we are salvagers, then we probably need a shuttle to, if you're doing space salvaging. I think it's more general purpose, but I'm fine with a speeder, except that speeder is like only on the planet, yes? I'm fine with, I'm just asking the thinking.
I'm still repairing the shuttle.
Oh, that's cool.
After, that job we did.
Sure.
That's that one that you found for us.
You don't get to fly anymore.
Hey,
that's great.
I did my best, It's really hard to fly when you are shooting from one port and someone's shooting at us, it's...
I was talking to Yanush, but it does apply to both of you.
Maybe you can teach him how to shoot so that he doesn't shoot off the parts of our ships when we are Flying. Cool. Can we take a break and then
yeah.
make the
I just
call?
want to get that set up. We'll when we come back, Nabana, you'll be reaching out to your contact. So
sure.
So on the idea of shuttle, speeder, all that good stuff, maybe we should move over to talk a little bit about the Naboo Pilgrim. I'll do a quick screen share. When Kat created Rovers, she had an entire page dedicated to your starship.
I'm very echoey.
Am I?
Yes. Can you not share your audio as well?
Oh, did I? I probably still had the default.
The blaster fire.
From the blaster fire. Yeah. I screwed that up.
Yep.
That's my bad.
No, it's all good. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. So Kat created this starship creation page. I went ahead and pre-filled a ship just so
we can't see the ship
to jumpstart it. You can?
Not.
You cannot. In my
screen.
I'm the wrong screen. Har, har, har. I'm a dum. Wow. Oh, did I get it right this time, friends?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Look at the Naboo Pilgrim.
I feel like a dum. I did 2 tech fails back to back. All right. So I started off saying she's a medium starship, which means that your upkeep defaults to the number of systems that you have. It's a job par Krez to keep you in mortgage. Upkeep is equal to its systems if the ship has more thrusters than mass. Blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of other stuff. It's fine. So looks like somebody wanted to make it old, which is awesome. So
I was going for, it's a freighter and, it's been around for a long time.
Cool. So your configuration then is a merchant system. You can choose at most one system from another configuration. So you guys can throw some guns on whatever. The extra fittings. So there is speeder and assault shuttle, but each time you choose it increases your upkeep. So if you choose assault shuttle, your upkeep goes up by 3. Speeder means that it goes up by 2. So you guys are welcome, or you can actually get regular shuttle, and that's just 1. So you got a bunch of cool bibs and bobs. It's a whole thing, but since we are talking a little bit about whether you guys wanted a shuttle, speed, or all that stuff, I figure why not throw it out here.
And the question, do weapons just take more system space? So for example, have beam lasers, you need to assign 2 system space to it, yes?
So if you take military systems main weapon, then you're adding a military system in here, and you can give it AP, spray, heavy, or plus range.
And below in major systems there are guns, and they have many boxes next to them. So do we have to assign many systems to even have beam lasers and missiles?
Yeah, if you want to have beam lasers, your upkeep goes up by 2.
So the smallest weapon is like 2, yes.
Targeting out. Oh no, that's a targeting. The smallest would be beam lasers. Yes.
What does upkeep mean?
Upkeep is the cost per job in creds to keep the job running and pay the mortgage. Your base upkeep is a thing, and basically, if you don't get a job equal to your upkeep, then you have to click overdue, which means you're in default and bad things can happen. Like somebody might come try to reclaim or you have trouble getting a loan, all that fun stuff. Are there any extra fittings that folks now know mechanically how kitting out this ship works that you're like, yep, I still want X or Y?
Maybe we should take the shuttle. It used to be an assault shuttle, but then whatever YouTube did made it not so assaulty. That works.
Agreed. I really like the idea of having the fuel refinery. That just makes my imagination go crazy, but we don't have to have it.
That's kind of awesome, though.
I'm good with
Okay.
it.
It can
What?
pay for itself.
Maybe I'm
Fuel
looking for
refinery, harvest fuel from gas giants or oceans.
one. Maybe that's what we got on the last job. It's not installed yet. I don't know. If people don't want to have a higher number, that's all. I'm willing to compromise.
I like that. And then maybe we should take just the main weapon from the military
Yeah.
and give it spray.
Yeah, I have no idea how the weapons work. I think we need to have a weapon and then we can give it spray. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how it works.
Oh yeah, well, because you're going military systems, you can take it. You get to give a weapon that. So we'll say that your main weapon. I think I know what you're saying. I don't think I'm. It's again one page. My interpretation is if you choose main weapon out of military systems, then you'll get one of these, and then that'll be one upkeep. So we're going 4 -1 from upkeep, +1 from weapon, +1 from fuel refinery, +1 from shuttle. So then it's 6. Is my math right?
Yeah.
So coordinates better be worth something.
The 10,000 you got up front is 10,000 creds, but I'm just going to do the divided by 1,000. So it's 10 cred in this thing. So you guys get 4 cred worth of just from the upfront you got from Banu. Make sense?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Try to keep the math nice and easy. So you still are getting something out of doing this. Now, Nabana, you wanted to use your connections, right?
Yes, I wanted to do, but do I introduce an NPC or do I pick one of those which are there? Surprisingly, there is some administrator and.
If you
bot
want to
hurrah.
introduce an NPC, we can definitely jump into that. I was thinking you might know Administrator Talur, who is the head of the Salvage Union.
I was thinking that they will be a Rhodian, but if they are a human, then that's completely fine. Then they give a call to Administrative Talur.
Okay. So you reach out to Administrator Talur
I think the
as
proper term is open communication.
open communication. You open comms. Is that Star Trek? I don't know. It's fine. You reach out to Administrator Talur, and is this audio only, or are you imagining you see her on Hollow? What do you imagine with this reach out?
I think we do have Hollow, at least the one that shows who is calling. So probably shows me that doesn't and small part of the bridge doesn't have to like show entire bridge, and that
Cool. Yeah, just
Supet is there.
that's all good. And you see her normal kind of bangs that are cropped to be straight across just above her eyebrows. She's in her 30s. She has a bit of an austere presence to her. She peers, her little bags under her eyes wrinkle up as she says, Nabana, it's been a very long time.
It's such a nice to see that you are still the boss here.
I am. So you say here. You are here? You've arrived on Korad?
Yeah, I thought I will come by and visit. So I decided to call and see how you're doing.
What do you really want?
Okay, I see you are not in a mood for a small talk. I will cut the crap. I'm looking for a ship. It probably came by recently. Now, excuse me, I don't remember the name. I probably don't remember the name. Nabana probably really remembers the name, so I give her the name of the ship. If you can just tell me where the ship crashed, or is it still on the orbit, then that would be where's down damsel. Then it would be perfect.
Yeah, you know, Nabana, they're going great for looking up something on the salvage database is 1,000 credits. She just leaves that hanging out there. What do you do?
Uh,
I can
yeah,
give you,
since
cut you a deal for only 700 credits.
yeah, since I have some of my personal credit to spend, I can. Okay, of course, I understand that database searches are expensive, so I'm wiring you the credits right now.
She pauses for a moment. You hear a few clickety clacks on a keyboard and see her typing away. And then when the transaction is confirmed, she says, "Oh, so nice to deal with someone who is on the up and up. Of course, as administrator, I will research. Oh, G-Truck Freighter. Yes. It was brought down in sector Y87. So there are no clear landing zones in that particular area. So I would recommend you land in the North Pole, and you can rent one of our speeders if you want to. Only 100 credits per day. I also recommend breath masks. It's become quite toxic in the atmosphere here."
Oh, it's good to know. Can you tell me, are there any salvage crews on the ship already?
She clacks a little bit more. Well, it appears that it might be in a contested area between a couple groups of scavengers, so you're probably fine.
Tulur, for the old time's sakes, and all the little favors I did for you, maybe you can do me one back, and you can at least call some of the most aggressive groups, and then I'm sure I can deal with the less aggressive groups around the area.
Ooh, let's. I feel like I'd like to see a bit of a roll. Is that okay? Does it feel like a fair
I was thinking
point?
about marking my connection merchant talent.
Okay. And so what you're asking for a favor here. So she'll say, I could send out the Howl Runners with you if you want. They'll, of course, want a claim on whatever salvage you're trying to get from Y87, that little Dawn's Damsel. Or if you would like, perhaps I just reach out to the squibs who are near in the area and maybe pull them away.
Yeah, just pull away the crew, tell them that, I don't know, something else came by and it's more lucrative, and we should be done in a day or two, so then you can return them.
Don't know if you should spend a day or two. There are ogres there as well. So she's just dropped the name of two different species.
Mm-hmm.
Squib and ogre. The squib are like blue-furred fox people. And the ogres are amorphous, shapeless individuals. They unicellular organisms. They often fill out a space suit so that they look like they would be bipedal.
Awesome. Well, practically what I want from her is I want so that she can pull some of the opposition we can meet in the area to some other job. So that's what I actually want her to do.
So I've just dropped in links, and here's what she can do. She can either send a gang with you for security, or she can reach out to the squibs and kind of distract them for a few hours with a claim on something in the nearby area that should clear the path.
I think I'm good for additional manpower. If you can just get rid of the squibs for me for some time, that would be enough.
All right, I'll reach out to the squibs. They owe me a few favors, so I will take care of that for you.
Thank you, Taylor. A pleasure as always to meet you. Maybe we can one of those days finally meet for a coffee or something.
Maybe so. Just remember, we're even now. We're even.
Of course. You help me, I help you. We are even.
Cool. So, what is the plan, Pilot Supith? The indicator light that occasionally Janusz turns on to tell you to hurry up.
Oh, I think we're gonna, so this landing zone is not far from the pole. Is that the idea?
It's not far at all.
Okay. Yeah, we'll land at the pole like we're supposed to, and get in our little Naboo Pilgrim shuttle, which is really cramped and probably designed for 2 people, but one of the 3 is a Jawa, so
2.5. Like it's like 2.5 men, but different.
And so Supeth throws the thing on autopilot, and it goes back to the armory, having heard that like breath masks are going to be important, that there's gangs in the area, and starts opening up the lockers and taking out gear.
Cool. So if you take a look at the Rovers, this works as Greg very correctly identified. The way you handle equipment, you choose a load, and there's a drop down on row 43. Then as you need it, you can checkbox and say you've got extra Y thing. If it has 2 ticks or 3 ticks, that means it takes up that much load. While it may not be that much physical space, some of the things like a med kit, it just,
And if you have a special weapon, it takes 2 load.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to click on that in the equipment section. Do I just click both weapon slots? Is that what that is?
Well, you can just, if you remember to look up, you've got the 2 load there. So.
Oh, it's clicky clacky there. Oh, do I get to choose I get to choose I'll choose head.
That's a good call.
I didn't realize I got to choose a tag for it. That's pretty cool. All right. So I've only got, I figure Jawas don't move very fast anyway, so I'm just going to go with ponderous. I think it matches my character quite a bit. So I just got room for lots of stuff.
I mean, you're in a speeder. Who cares about walking? But I believe, there is a vac suit, but and that takes 2. But if you want to say, if you guys want to take a breath mask, I'll add it as an option with a single tick. I'll just add it for everybody.
Yeah.
Or you could just do a 1 tick vac suit is just a breather, and a 2 tick is the full thing.
Yeah, but the way that this thing was designed is if you click one, it clicks both.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you?
I'm getting it.
Here we go. Awesome.
Good point. Yeah, I actually think that Nabana needs to go heavy because he's not good on his elf, and definitely poisonous gases isn't good to get into the missing part of the Leku. So he's going down with the full vac suit.
Nice. That's not a bad call. Not a bad call.
When so laid down, Supeth has to, soup up the shuttle a little bit to keep us afloat. And
I think our shuttle isn't that cramped because it does says it's like cargo hauler. So I think it's maybe there are just 2 seats, but probably there's like a empty space for stuff. Just one person is without seat belts and stuff. That's probably the problem.
You underestimate how much stuff a Jawa will bring with them.
I think before we arrive at this docking spot Y87, Supith is going to try and use the shuttle's scanners and get just sort of a lay of the land here, right?
Okay.
Because we've been promised that the squib have been called off, but Tulur did mention that there were other gangs in the area. Just trying to get a little bit of sense. Is there something wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you land at the North Pole facility. You're not the only ship on planet, but probably not that big of a surprise. So it's not like one landing pad. This is a miniature starport. Kind of imagine like an airfield that's in the middle of a town, just like off to the side where they have 14 hangars. Who even knew that this existed? That's kind of what this North Pole facility is like. There's a droid operator that helps you guys land via the automated landing system, but you're not hassled by anyone since the Korad Salvage Union gives Nabana the thumbs up. And if you, Supith, want to, as you guys transition to the shuttle and take off, if you want to do a quick scan, let's have you, let's see, what do we think as we take a look?
I think this is wits, and I'm terrible at it.
I think it is wits, yeah.
-1.
Yes. Nice.
That's 4.
Sweet. So you bring
Ganush, were you messing with the scanners on the shuttle?
Messing with or enhancing?
I don't think you know the difference.
They work better if you've got Jawa eyes. Like,
it does work better with Jawa eyes. It's so true. So you scan in. So you guys are up a little bit and looking in Y87. The sector, as it's designated, is one of those where the Salvage Union actually has gridded out the planet from a scanner base, so you can line up those particular grids, find Y87, look for a G-Troc freighter, and when you do, reminding you that you had a failure, you find that when you spot the ship, you spot a bunch of man-sized organisms walking on top of the ship. There have been maybe a half dozen of them. A couple of them are armed. Seems like they've squatted on this particular freighter.
I'm gonna
maybe we
take
should
it
squat
in.
up them.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that we're going to, Y88 or Y86. Just make a little turn, fly casual, nothing crazy, and maybe even like go so far as to like pick something up. I imagine the shuttle has like some sort of close range grapples or something, right?
Claw arms, like in an arcade game kind of deal.
Yeah. And I mean, if no one's going to stop me, I might just drive over and accidentally drop this on top of the Dawn's damsel.
Super, but where are you going? The ship is over there.
Yeah, I don't.
Why do you pick this stuff up?
Oh, we're going to drop it on him.
Dropping stuff on an unstable, damaged ship, you could damage our cargo.
You want to talk him through it? You want to talk to him?
Give me the stairs, and the two of you, open the back door and give them the hot blaster welcome. Maybe scatter them, and I will just keep the stairs for a moment. Dropping such stuff, it can we don't know the state of the ship. If you drop this could like fell all the way in, damage our cargo.
But maybe it'll just
Slam
kill the bad guys.
Slam the controls the other way. The thing drops off, and we settle down behind some other
Rust.
ship.
Like a cloud, an orange cloud of rust, like pops up from when you dropped whatever giant bulbous
perfect.
thing you picked up.
Perfect. It's a nice cloud of dust that Nibbana can walk out of, and Yanush and I can sneak around the back.
Yeah, and as you guys fly by, those blob-like aliens notice you guys overhead. Some of them have 4 eyes, 5 eyes, more. But yeah, they've got blaster carbines. They haven't pointed them at the ship when you flew over because you did a good job of flying casual. But yeah, so you guys want to try to sneak around then? Is that what you're hoping to, that you distracted them?
So do you landed by the ship, or have you landed just some distance away from the ship?
I think we're just like the next bay over. Okay. Behind. We've parked behind some other big metal.
Cool. And I'll say that the shuttle is small enough to where you can park it. Like your spaceship would have been really precariously placed. But let's I'm gonna ask Nabana, what is the Imperial ship that Supeth lands your little shuttle by? Is it like a big like TIE fighter carrier, or is it a piece of a Star Destroyer? What do we see? Or maybe just the panel of a TIE fighter?
It has incredible amounts of pyramid shapes, so it's definitely a Star Destroyer.
Nice. I like it. See, I guess park in the shadow of a Star Destroyer, and then the 3 of you muster out. Janusz with his crazy big gun, to Supeth. I mean, you're also what? You went normal. Like, that's crazy. The super violent military one is the one who didn't load for bear, but and Nabana,
mobility is lethality.
Yes, you're not wrong. And Nabana has a full-on vac suit, so the 3 of you will be heading around. I think we should borrow from some other games, because this is such a light game, right? You can bolt on, you can make some rulings instead of rules type deal. A little OSR ethic. I think that I'd like to have, if you guys are cool with this, the idea of your person with the worst at the stat is the one who makes the check if you're trying to sneak.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that sneaking is being witty? Feels like maybe it is. Does that seem fair? All right.
I would argue for grit, but yeah.
Grit could be interesting, and we haven't seen any grit.
What's the actual game's definition of grit?
Oh, it's down on rows 33 through 35. So
willpower, fortitude, and toughness.
Yeah, no, because guile is right underneath wit. I'm good with that. We'll do with wit. I mean, I think I end up rolling either way. It's just how poorly am I rolling?
Cool. Let's have you roll. You're the weakest link.
Oh, it's all good.
Just statistically, just in every other way, you're strong.
We're great. Everything's fine. It's a 5.
Fine. It's good. So you guys start sneaking along. You're moving. Maybe there's a point where both Supeth and Nabana have to crawl, but Janusz, you keep walking because you're so short. And then as you guys get closer, you see from inside the ship, there are another of 2 of those Ugor creatures. One of them is, because like they fill out spacesuits, right? They are kind of amorphous. This one is in an armored suit. And you see there are all kinds of glittering, gaudy adornments. And he has 6 pseudopods jutting forth from his head, 3 with eyes, 3 with mouths. And one of the mouths opens to speak because he's clocked you guys as you got close. And he opens up and he says, "Welcome, unexpected pilgrims, to Great Dirtle. I bid you greetings in the name of the great prophet Bodev. Have you come to take ceremonial donation to Gluck and his people?" He gestures with a couple of the pseudopods, but the other one has like a blaster carbine ready to aim at you. But yeah, they clocked you guys at some point early on, and it turns out that they're talking about some great prophet of Botiv.
I think Yanush cannot hold back the torrent of laughter as he openly mocks this idea of a prophet, but also due to Rich's wonderful voice, he's laughing at the voice as well. So, yeah, Janusz is being an ass right now.
Nice. That is very helpful for negotiations, Nabana. So Nabana with Yarush giggling like mad, and this armored, slightly unhappy Uger staring at you with his 3 eyes on pseudopod stalks. What do you do, Nabana?
Nabana looks at Janusz and says, I was hoping he could handle this and not laugh. It's serious matter. It's some prophet. Yes. Prophet. Important. We would love to make a donation after we have some salvage to donate. We first need to go and salvage something, then we can donate. So
very well.
We come by later?
You come by later. The great turtle will allow you on board, but no salvage here.
And just to be clear, they are not on the ship we are going. They are on some.
No, they're
some
absolutely. They have converted your ship into a temple of some kind. They refer to it as the Great Turtle.
The ship we are going to.
The Dawn's Damsel, which, by the way, I dropped it into a tab called the Dawn's Damsel, just so you have an idea of it. The G-Troc freighter has an odd appearance like a turtle, and the Uyghurs have decided that this is the Great Turtle, reminding them of something that they need to make into a temple. Do Audrey guidance to ceremonial donation.
Yeah, I think Nabana looks at his companions and says, "You guys go and do some better job. I will talk away their ear, talk their ear off. I will talk their ear off." So oh yes, maybe you can tell me more about this prophet, and then after I know more, I can know how can I donate and what can I donate. So yeah, I want to get close to them and start basically trash talking, learning from them what is it about, so that their companions they can maybe forget that they were there, or can go and try and have better luck. Although nice. it's terribly being locked in a space in a space with some armored guy, but yeah, I'll manage somehow.
Okay, so you move up to Glurgluck. I'll type it into Glurguk, who proclaims himself the tax chaplain.
And more or less, group. Do I recognize the part of the ship I will be in together with them?
Oh, yeah. He's not going to let you on the ship unless you pay a 200 credit ceremonial donation. But he will definitely proselytize at you at the Grey Dirtle, which he now thinks that the Dawn's Damsel is. So yeah, Nabana is just falling on the lightsaber, as it were, falling on the sword to buy some time for Supeth and Janusz to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that, Supeth and Janusz?
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, well, I think Supeth will, oh, all right, we'll get something, and just like go behind a piece of metal and then just try and, get the bearings on, just how many of these Uyghurs are there on this ship, whatever the Rita situation is on Rovers.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's have you
Roll with wit.
I think so. Yeah, you gotta roll with wit, buddy.
I'm so good at it.
I love
just to clarify,
beta
with
character is
strain,
good at what you like to do. Anyway, yes, to clarify,
I can add +1 die to a roll. I can use 2, but and I can do that before or after, and it's just an additive die. It's not like an advantage disadvantage thing.
hold on. I think it is an additive die because this was a hack of World Dungeon Strove. And 1d to any roll. Yeah, you can just add a strain, you can add another d, and you add all 3 dice together. You can only use 1 strain per roll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use 1 more strain because that's a 4.
Good luck. You got a 50-50 chance to pull this off.
Taking this modifier away, add 1 more die to that. That's a 4. So that's an 8.
Oh, so mark that strain. You get a total of 3 strain, which means you can do that a couple more times. With an 8, you're trying to get a vibe of how many there are, right? That's what you're after.
I'm trying to, doing like the guard watch sort of thing. Where's the spot they're not looking so that Yanush can sneak in. I'm like, I'm not committing to any equipment, but I'm setting up sort of an Overwatch sort of, Yanush is going to try and get in there. I'm going to be the blaster backup.
Okay. So I'm going to give some information to you, but I'm going to say there's some information that also Nabana picks up because he's literally standing right there. So the general information, the ship itself is largely intact. The boarding ramp is already laid open because Glurguk came down the boarding ramp. You can tell that the weapons, like exterior weapons, have already been stripped off of the thing. They're long gone. The engines are trash and beyond repair, and there's enough hull damage to where this ship, the G-Shark freighter, is not space worthy. But you can tell that it's functional for people to like make it a little house, which it seems that these dozen Uyghurs have done. The boss is Glurguk, who takes on the largest of the physical presences, the big three-eyed, three-mouthed Uyghur that he is. And I'm giving him a gender, but they're genderless, amorphous, weirdo beings. But yeah, there are a dozen of them. However, they do not have a dozen guns. They have 4 of them have blaster carbines, but all of them would have some kind of wrench or possibly a hydra spanner, something that they could use as a melee weapon if they were threatened.
Is there a way for Yanush to get in that's not the main boarding ramp?
I'm small.
Yep. You got to crawl through a bunch of muck and waste and the like. You're going to...
I honestly don't think that impacts Yanush. Like, I just don't. Like, his sensibility is, I'm working my way towards treasure. Not literally treasure, but like some equivalent of it. And he's like, this is what you do to get there. Like,
Think of the gun; it will get dirty,
and then I'll repair it.
So yeah, Supeth will like, maybe we even have hand gestures, but like gesture towards like, hey, there's this muddy spot. It looks, like one of those, like when they landed it just like skidded, and that all that ground is just filled now with mucky grossness. And then I'm just like cocks a blaster.
Especially since I've got like a mask, so I can like even go like into a liquid of some sort. Like, let's do it.
Okay. If you're willing to crawl underneath, you're going to need to roll. You don't have to roll to crawl, but you do need to roll a d6, cut it in half, rounding up, of hit point damage from the toxic and crawling through all. Yeah.
Okay. When you said muck, I was just thinking like.
Sorry, you know this going in. Like maybe you've got a counter or something that sets off. So I don't want this to be a surprise to Janusz.
Yeah.
He knows what he's about to go into.
All right. Yeah, no. Yeah, this again, like these are sacrifices you make. There are things to heal you back up. There, I can click on a med kit on my thing. So like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
all right, roll that d6.
All right. My modifier. 6. Love it. All right. So I take 3 hit points of damage, you said?
You would take 3 hit points of damage out of your 10.
Okay.
Oh my.
Cool. I'm all for that.
It's nasty. Like you feel a little sick, Janusz. There is unnatural stuff. Probably not leaking from the G-Talk freighter, but whatever the freighter was set on top of had some toxic sludge that had leaked underneath it. Over time, that might affect the Oogers, but for now, they're good. Unfortunately, you're rolling through it, but you can make your way underneath the Dawn's Damsel. We'll say that you can get all the way to the point where you could maybe look. So take a look. Does it have an airlock on its underside? I don't think it does. So you probably need to cut into
There's
it.
There's the 2 cargo ramps, 11 and 13.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah. So if you want to try to sneak up through a cargo ramp and enter the gray dirtle, you could do that. I feel like that is a grit move.
Cool. I've got
that.
Yeah. My grit is a 1.
Okay.
I can roll some dice. Oh, I got 4.
Do you want to spend a strain, or are you good with that failure?
Oh, right. So we get
3. Well, no, you haven't filled up the 2, so you get 2 strain.
2 strain, and they come
right
back
now
at the end of a mission, or can I recover them mid-mission?
That is a great question. I'll answer you in just a second. Sorry, I don't know that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and do it. We'll worry about the rules later. All right, so let me click on the strain. So I'm just going to add a d6. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, you roll a new d6 and you add it to that total.
Okay. 4 plus 5 is 9.
That is much better than a 4. We'll say it's once per term or once per job. So hopefully you guys are going to finish up this session. Sweet. So with a 7 to 9, a partial success, you do it, but with a cost compromise, reduced effect or harm. Yeah, I think what happens is you work your way up the cargo hold without being seen. But there is an Ooger who is currently in the cargo hold. They're in a vac suit, right? And they filled that out. They've got their back to you and they're squatted down over their haunches, and they seem to be working on a piece of the ship. So you're going to have to deal with that Ooger that's right there. This one's smaller than the others. Actually, it's kind of your size, Janusz. It's like Jawa sized. What do you do?
I'd like to maybe add to the scene something, but like, please totally reject this if it doesn't match the story in your head. What if, like, in the corner, there is a captured squib?
Wow, that's way better. Yeah, I like that. That's super better.
And so, like, the squib sees me, and I see the squib, and we both look at the ogre, and like we connect, like, common enemy kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and let's say you're on the starboard side, just so we are all on the same visual. So you're on the right hand side. You're the 13 and 14, and that captured squib is down at the bottom of 14. So just underneath where the number 14 is, lashed up. Looks like they've been beaten a little bit. Like their beautiful bright blue fur is marred a bit, and they've got a bruise, and with their nostrils and their cute little noses is a little bloody. And yeah, the two of you make eye contact. And
so I'm going to try, like, I want to manipulate the squib into making a ruckus, and then when the ogre comes over to, like, deal with him, that would give me a chance to, like, I don't know, pierce the vac suit or just blast it or something like that. But I need it fully distracted, right? So that's what I'm aiming for.
Awesome. So maybe a little bit of hand gestures, or I mean, it's not like you're all shadowy, so I don't think you're mouthing the words, but you communicate a little bit with the squib, and the squib seems to get the idea and makes a little, like, growling noise. But have you ever heard like a chihuahua or a poodle growl? So it's like a little on the high pitched side.
Oh, like a fox.
Like a fox growl, absolutely, because these are like blue fox dudes. So it makes that little foxy type growl, and the ogre that had like a hydro spanner and was like welding some stuff together pops up and says, "Hey, you gotta be quiet," and walks over to just kick the squib to make it quiet. What do you do? We're about to swing out to Nabana, but I want to see what Janish does in reaction for.
I would like to try to be quiet, but if I can't, then I won't. Let's see. What could I have brought with me? I want to have a really sharp knife. And I'm going to come up behind it, stab it in the vac suit, pull it down, and then, like, it no longer has the suit to hold it together, and it's just going to spluff out.
Yeah, I blob out. That sounds awesome. Give me a might roll.
Okay.
Because it's fighting, and you're great at fighting. By great, I mean not.
This is going to suck. All right.
I will give you a +1 from the situation because this thing is distracted.
Oh, okay. All right.
You thought ahead. You've got a squib trying to hold its attention.
Yeah.
So I give you a +1. So you're just rolling at a 2d6 -1.
Cool. Oh my. Do I take my only other strain right now?
That's not very good odds to get you to a 7.
Right. I'd have to get, I mean, it's 50-50, right?
Yeah, it's true. 50-50 is not bad. You're right.
I think I'll let the failure sit.
Awesome. So we cut out to Nabana. Nabana, you have heard like a tax sermon, because it turns out that the Uyghur are strong proponents of trash. They worship trash, and they also are all members of the Holy Uyghur Taxation Collection Agency. And so Glergluck is telling you about the values of not only tax structures, and a flat tax is huge to the Uyghurs. Flat tax, black tax, as well as all the drash dax. The drash blad dax is the buzzword for this sermon, and it's really boring, but he is super into it. So it's that level of someone excitedly telling you about something that you just probably don't care about nearly as much as they do. How's Nabana handling this?
Nabana thinks he bought enough time for the others to do something, and we really need to get on the ship to get the stuff done. So I could probably just tell me which room is the guy, because he didn't let me in on the ship. So I'm talking him from probably some hall in the hall. So which room he is in? Which room the Gurklak is in?
Okay, so you're asking where is Janusz?
No. I know where's Janusz. Where is Gurklak? Because
Gurklak, because you haven't paid. Sorry. Go ahead.
Because he didn't let me on the ship, so I'm probably talking to him through some hall in the hall of the ship.
We'll say. Well, yeah, that seems fair to me. We'll say that he has let you just a glimpse, the glimpse of the Bunder, the Bray Birtle. And you are currently, we'll say, in the port cargo hold, where
so in 11.
Yeah, you're basically opposite, not far away from where Janusz is. Perfect. And you see they've set up these little trash symbols and bric-a-brac and other things that they've tried to spruce up this particular hold. This is where they envision the people who come to the great temple will come. But you also realize, while you may not care, maybe other Uyghurs will get the vibe that's going on here of the little trash art that's happening. So are you, Nabana, at this point, you haven't paid the Zarabodial Dax of 200 credits to be allowed any further into the temple of the Great Dirtle. So what are you doing? You bought enough time. Do you want to bail at this point? Or what do you want to do?
I want to take a peek inside, because you said he allowed me to take a peek. Does it look like the place where Subano mentioned that there was some secret compartment where they had some spies? Does it look like this part of the ship is still existing, or is it?
You're basically standing on it. You're standing on a panel that you can tell when you stepped onto it. That kind of dimped. It's like ponk. It's not solid. You can pull that up, and there'd be some spice.
Cool. So I look at Gurklax, and I say, Gurklax, the tax chaplain, I would like to make you a humble offering, because I think there is still some not your holy trash, not salvage to be found on the ship, but some other valuable things that you can then transfer to the authorities and get your holy tax for it. So if I were to share this valuable resource with you, would you agree to give me and my friends some opportunity to look around your wonderful temple, visit it, walk around, and we will share this profits if I were to find this valuables, and you will give us some opportunity to walk around.
Negotiations commence. And then he leans forward and starts barking out some kind of complicated structure for how many percentage points you have to get over and above on a promise versus the double derabodio donation of 200 credits versus the promise of future profit. So I would like to see if you can roll with him and give me a wit roll here. We're about to jump out to our good buddy Supeth.
Yeah,
I want to see how this roll goes.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a break after this roll?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
We're taking hourly breaks. Okay, cool.
Well, no.
Wow.
I thought
It's all good. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
I thought his ear off.
You do. You've got him real good. So yes, two of his eyes widen with the genius structure that you lay back at him, and yeah, he's into it. So do you reveal the spice? Like that is our last moment before we go to break?
Yeah, I probably open the hatch, take the spice, put it on a table, and I suppose it's somehow packed into some like cocaine box or almost.
Yeah, I love it. It's like blue glitteril, but you drop it in. And like, oh, and he pulls out some of it and starts like sprinkling it around. But yeah, totally gets the thing. That's when you hear the gurgling sound of an ogre being stabbed to death, which unfortunately Gurglik also hears, and that will set off the alarm. We're going to take a quick break here.
Sure.
So we had that stabbing, but then we cut away to Supeth. So we pick up with Supeth after. Yes.
Can we finish framing my role? Because I would like to get a little bit something extra on it since I rolled a 13.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's a little bit of snippet. So as we see, feel free to say no. As we hear the sound, as we see Gurklak turn away to see what's happening, we see Nabana basically attaches PQ-36. I'm not sure what's the Star Wars equivalent. The explosive charge to his back, and then hides the detonator to be used later on.
Sounds great.
Oh my God, what's happening?
By the way, full transparency, that's actually in the game Rovers called a Q-36 explosive, but I decided to call it a PQ-36 in honor of Marvin the Martian from Bugs Bunny, because I couldn't not do that. So sorry, I stuck Marvin the Martian's PQ-36 modulator in your Star Wars game.
So it's getting used.
That sounds awesome. You stick that on him. He has no idea. He's busy spreading some spice, and then Dubwood has violated the dignity of our great Earl, and he's calling an alarm. And of course, the squid is like holding up its little as Janusz, as the ogre has been stabbed and is falling and like losing its sense of form. The squid's like, please let me out, my friend, and is holding up for you to cut their bonds. So then we cut away to Supeth. So Supeth, the last thing we saw from you is Janusz crawling away, going underneath this ship. What does Supeth do? What have you been doing for the last, say, 10-ish minutes?
Just because we've pulled the squibs into this a little bit. I'm curious if I could, Supeth is out there standing watch and maybe sees like a little flash of blue on the other side.
We are mind meld. I don't know how this happened. But I was thinking, due to your very poor ability to sneak around, that a squid had like slipped up to you and was like looking over at the G-Truck freighter with you.
Okay, yeah, and like I see them maybe a little at the corner of my eye, and I don't notice the first one, and then they're there, and they're probably like just like one of those like standoff things where it's like,
yeah,
and then Supeth slowly lowers his blaster, and then like makes eyes at the great turtle, the Dawn's damsel, and like gestures like you want the ship, and then like I'm gonna take a grenade and a blaster rifle. So I'm using like all my stuff now. Let's see, blaster rifle and a grenade. And like fits the grenade onto the front of his blaster rifle and gestures at the top, and then like points at the squibs, and we're like making a plan. Like, I'm gonna shoot the grenade up at the top as a distraction, and you're gonna rush in.
Nice. By the way, during the break, I did look up what it sounds like where a fox growls, and that sounds not at all cute. I think that maybe it's more like a Chihuahua's growl. A fox's growl is scary. It's kind of scary for a little fox, but let's just say they're good at making people want to go away, I think. So you're communicating with the little hit team of squibs. They're not full strength because most of the pack has been called away by Nabana's friend, but there are a few of them, and one of them leans forward, peers at you, is the one you've been kind of gesturing. I'm going to throw a grenade and all this other stuff, and it says in a slightly high-pitched voice, "You speak basic?"
Yeah.
They stole our leader, Tekatali. Very bad. Ugar's evil.
Evil. Seemed a little spaced out to me.
You bet you think. They're bad. Very bad. Tekatali is a leader. They steal him to sacrifice him to some dirtle.
Well, let's get him back.
This squib, she sizes you up for a minute. Okay. We're friends now.
Friends. Real quick. We need computer on the ship. That's all we need.
I'm going to give you a +1 because it looks like you're about to go to battle alongside this person, but you're negotiating up front, which is probably also good. So you're rolling flat. Let's see how this goes. The fates have determined that this negotiation goes well, as this squib, she leans in and says, "Nav computer yours. The rest of the dirtle is ours. We're going to poop on it." And I think they are letting out a few like barks, yips, and whistles, and a number of the squib still lower in number, but they're probably outnumbered 2-1 right now. They're mostly, they really want to get Turkatali out. So we cut back to Janusz, as we now know that is Turkatali, the leader of the little squib gang, is begging, you set me free. We'll fight our way out of here.
So without a second's delay, I think the thing that is in Janusz's head is bound hands can't pay. So immediately just takes the knife, cuts the bonds. Janusz.
Sweet. And the squib like grabs your shoulder. It's just the only gesture that it can pull off, and then it is going to reach down and try to grab that blaster carbine. You've got your giganto gun, right? So he assumes you're not worried about a little blaster carbine, whatever that this thing. Well, actually, we'll say it's got a blaster pistol, right? Because it was working on some stuff. And you hear the thud of heavy boot steps as there are some Uyghurs who are rushing this way. You hear the voice of that one Gurgluk that is calling an alarm. And he looks to you, Nabana, and says, "Bait here a moment, peace." And then starts moving across as well. So yeah, Janusz, looks like a big fight's about to happen. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm gonna set my gun up and start firing. Like,
nice.
If I don't know them, or they're not with somebody I know, they're getting shot. So
we get to hear the sound effect of the TL50, and let's go ahead and have you roll plus might.
Oh, okay. Why did you have to say that?
I'm sorry. You took your gun and it's fighting, so
yeah, but all right.
No, what do you think?
No. Like that's totally right. I just
okay.
It's just like poor choices at the beginning. Like, yeah, that makes sense. No, don't do that. All right. 2d6 minus 2. Could I have brought a tripod and get myself like a +1?
You bet. Yeah, that sounds good. You set up and you've got your tripod.
Yeah. Do I have to click off an equipment for that, you think?
I think that's fair since you're getting yourself a mechanical +1.
Okay. I'll just click off the other weapon for now. All right.
Okay.
2d6 minus 1. Cool. I'm already set up for 2d6 minus 1. Imagine that. And I got a 7. I got it.
That's good. So I think that you're going to exchange fire. There are a couple of Uyghurs who come running around, and you just let it rip, and they get sliced in half. Like these guys, blah, 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 all the Uyghur blob starts coming out, and they don't bleed as much as just you tear up their spacesuits, and then they lose shape. So they kind of fall over in these weird blobby ways, and their pseudopods and the like kind of flop around a bit. And it does pierce through them. It definitely hurts. It causes them to have to spend time to reconstitute more than anything. But then from the front of the ship, another Uyghur comes through and it whacks you a good one, Janusz. So I'm going to have you roll a 1d6, and you'll be taking half of that d6 of damage. That is our mixed success.
Okay.
Cool. And after the thing hits you, it clocks you with a large wrench. You see the squib clambers up onto his back, bites off one of its pseudopods, and it kind of falls on a splat. And even though it grabbed a gun, it's just kind of like on you. So it just starts clawing and ripping at the thing's spacesuit. It's just clambering around, thudding, and trying to grab the squib off of its back. We cut back to Nabana as it looks like Gurgluk is going over to the others. You may be looking across. You can see a flash of your little diminutive friend Janusz, and you hear the telltale sign of Janusz's big gun as he is laying down big fire.
Nabana isn't really sure what to do with this moment, so he's waiting for Super to do something, and then he isn't sure will he like demand the that the fighting stops or he blows the explosives, he isn't like really sure what to do because he hasn't seen what Supet is planning. So
You bet.
he's like waiting for Supet to enact some kind of plan.
Then let's swing out to Supeth. Let's use a little bit of the AW gang rules. You've got a small gang with you. You're basically assaulting into a medium gang. So let's have you roll plus might to be part of a charge. I don't know. Are you leading the charge or are you just part of a charge?
I'll lead the charge. Sure.
Awesome. Dope.
I think we're all like right next to each other, right?
Yeah.
Let me just. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Rolling +2. Only an 8. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I can exchange harm.
Okay.
But this is with the grenade is so. That's
sweet.
how the fight starts. Is like the Supet's rifle just comes up, shoots a grenade like above, like airburst above the great turtle, and hopefully like pushes some of them out as shocks them a little bit, and then leads the charge with all of these squibs. Yeah, and it's just screaming and running at where Nabana went in, right? So like running at that cargo bay.
Absolutely. So you set off the grenade on the top. One of the guys is hit like with the explosion. A few others are hit by guns. There's one of because it's Star Wars, someone has to be using like a bow of some kind, right? So you got little bow shot from a squib that hits one of the other Uger, and then it explodes and the thing splats out. And you rush in and come up into the Grey Dirtle, and Nabana is right there by you, and you hear Janusz's gun going off, ringing loud. There's a fight like 20 feet away from you and the other cargo hold when you come rushing up in here, Supeth. There's that female squib that was talking to you. She's made her way up here. You see, maybe she has like a long serrated knife that she uses. And I'm curious what you do, Supeth, when you see Nabana.
Do I take any harm? Do I get any hits?
Oh, yes.
Them?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's do. It's a big assault, and you're going against a slightly larger gang, so I'm going to go with a full-on D6 here.
Full D6. Okay. Let me reduce my modifier before that. Oh,
yeah, you should.
Okay.
You got 2.
Not bad.
Dang.
I get grazed or something.
Cool cosmetic grazing wound.
Right. Yeah, so I clamber into the cargo bay. Nabana, I brought friends. And just gesture at the squibs as they scurry up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How are things in here?
Yeah, I think I like. So where is at this moment? Where is Gurklak, the tax chaplain? Where is he?
That's a great question. Gurklak has moved out of 11 and slid through the lounge port. He's currently trying to figure a way to flank Janusz. And he's got a couple of Ugers right by him. So right now there's that tense moment after a bunch of frenzied action. And now, Janusz, you've definitely made it apparent that you've got a big gun and these guys need to figure out a way around it. And so he is actually, as you are watching Nabana, he's reaching and one of the other guys is handing him a little thermal detonator that he's probably going to throw at Janusz.
Yeah, I think Nabana just takes out the remote detonator and he says, "I hope none of your friends is close to this big guy." And I like press the big button, press the red button.
That's awesome. So he takes the thermal detonator and he says like a little prayer to the Grey Dirtle because he knows he's going to hurt his temple. And he's about to throw it, and that's when one of the Ugers reaches up for the PQ-36 modulator, like he's noticed it, like, "Hey, I should take this." And that's when it goes bleep, bleep, bleep. And we don't see them explode, but what we see is Janusz and then like cross-cut with Supeth, all of this, like you're literally, someone's just got a bowl of Jell-O off screen, and they throw it at your face, and everything... just splat as 3 Ugers get obliterated. And your ears ring for a moment. You're covered by ogre guts. Yeah. And I'm curious what Janusz does, because it seems like no one's trying to come at you now.
Janusz, it's us. Stop shooting. Stop shooting, or you might hurt us.
That doesn't necessarily like trigger stop firing on you. But he likes his squib companion at this point. What is his squib companion doing?
His squid companion kind of has hunkered down and is like pulling off some of the, I'm imagining it's like reddish jello goo off. And then he does this like little bark whistle thing. And then we cut back to Supeth, that female squib. She bark whistles back, and he looks over at you and he says, I think we win.
So I stopped firing. And I turn around and I put my hand out for a handshake.
Nice. You put your hand out for a handshake, and this little squib like leaps into your arms and hugs you.
Okay.
And they turns and like licks your face. An obvious show of affection, but it's also just a little bit weird. But it's not a whole lot. It's just a little bit, enough to make you slightly annoyed.
Yeah. Well, the idea was like, the deal has been, I saved you, you saved me kind of thing. But if it wants to lick me, then okay. Aliens are strange.
Squibs are strange.
So anybody inside the grave Derbil can hear Janusz's victory cry of Janusz.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm actually looking. I think that squibs, I just glanced. The squibs are like a meter tall and Jawas are a meter tall. So you guys are like the same height. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like I want a squib follower. Like I love it.
Yeah, the Oogers, if there are that were in the outside, they've run away. I think there's a point, Supeth, when you realize everything's okay, you look up and there's like a bubble turret, but they've like stripped it down, and you witness a squib dropping trowel on top of this ship, just taking a dump, because this was the Ooger. Yeah, it's not great. It's a little PG-13 humor there, but if you guys want to go pull out that nav computer, they had not stripped it because they thought it was their temple. So it's there. It's intact. It's not even a roll. You can just pull that nav computer and the squibs are not going to fight you on it.
Nabana pretends that all of this spice is not part of the ship. It's now like I'm carrying it. Like I came here with it for whatever reason. So we don't have to like leave it or share it. I'm just like, yeah, it's mine. I came here with it. So
the squib all nod. Right, you're leaving like a little line of spice from the hole that had been ripped out by Gurgluk, but you can patch that up. Oh,
yeah.
So I didn't think about it when I asked for it before, but when I took the data from the astromech droid, it included the blueprints of the ship.
Right.
So what secret room is not immediately obvious that I could make my way into and find something else?
That is fun. I like that idea. Let's say that the repair bay / machine shop, there's a false door that leads down into a little bolt hole, and we'll say there's like a weapons cache down in there.
Nice. Okay.
Like their hidden armory.
Okay. Cool. So I have basically gone in and tied every gun. Like I've got one long rope and I've tied every gun to the rope, and I come back up and I'm just pulling this magician's thing of guns out of a bolt hole.
There's a squib that's just watching this, like it's just fascinating. But most of the squibs are out, like they're gonna strip this thing bare. They've agreed with you, nav computer. They're gonna pull all the other systems. You can tell, like you guys are salvagers. They're doing a lot of this out of spite. They're marking up this temple. They're peeing on places. They're writing stuff on the walls in the goo of oogers. You know, yeah. They are marking territory. But you guys can lift up that nav computer. You've got your spice. You got a nice little weapons cache that is more than enough upkeep to keep the pilgrim flying. Is there anything more you guys wanted to do on the junk planet of Korad?
I think Supith might make a deal with one of the squibs and trade a blaster pistol for one of their bows. He finds it very entertaining and likes how silent it is.
Nice. That's pretty.
But it's
dope.
very small. It's compact. He's like, okay. And passes off a briar blaster pistol to him.
Nice. And yeah, the squib loves that exchange. Like, oh yeah, it's got this big blaster. It's like show it off to their friends. The friends are the other squibs just nod a little bit. And Turkatali, the leader of this little squib gang, says, "Good partnership. Janusz, good fighter."
Yeah, that's a change communication channels. In case we are around, we can call each other and do some joint operation in the future.
They nod, like, sure, that sounds fine. They don't expect you coming back to Korad, but they're not opposed to it at all.
Cool.
So let's say that each of you may mark another tour or term. Sorry. So you're now up to 2 terms. You get to add 1 skill. You get 1 more strain.
Yeah, about the skills, I'm not really confused because it's writing under the 2 plus 2 skills. I'm not really confused by this.
That's
on one term.
I guess it is plus 2 skills.
2 terms it writes 2 skills, so plus 2 skills. So
that's true. It does. Yeah. So the number of skills is supposed to be your.
Yeah. Even though in character creation it says terms plus 1, so maybe I don't know. Not really important, but up to you.
Yeah, it is weird. So it's plus 2 skills. It literally is written there. Let me check the character sheet, see if there's an error in creating the keeper.
Yeah, I see the same on the character sheets.
Yeah, it does say plus 2. Okay, so your skills. You have skills equal to 1 plus your terms. So based off of that, you would have 2 terms. So you'd have 3 skills. But that says plus 2 skills, which flies in the face of the idea of.
That's why I asked, because it's confusing.
Yeah, I'm gonna just make a call that it's basically plus 1 skill.
Okay.
From your base, because that's otherwise you guys you're gonna fill up like all the skills, and that seems weird.
Okay. I think the big question is, because Janusz had all of this data, do we actually go back and give the nav computer to Banu, or do Janusz propose us to make a deal behind Banu's back for this stuff? So
totally up to you guys.
So what do you think, Janusz? You're muted.
Okay.
Say again, Pavel. Like, what are you proposing?
I mean, Nabana, it's Banu he's sort of a contact, so Nabana thinks that we're going back and selling the computer. I'm just asking, do you suggest that we don't go back and sell the computer to Banu?
Yeah, I understand better now. I don't think anybody else is going to even give us anything similar to percentage of ongoing profits or anything like that. So it sounds like a solid deal to me to stick with. I mean, if he doesn't pay, then we can go and talk to him. But I like this idea that we'll continue to get more money. Like that sounds like a good deal. So
yeah,
Janusz is not up for betraying or double crossing at this point.
Yeah, so we go back and sell the computer to Banu to share the profits. Okay, perfect.
Cool. Now, if you take a look at the mustering out, it actually says you choose one, and then we get more than one term, you choose another. So you guys can get another mustering out benefit, which is kind of awesome.
Nice.
So you'll get one skill. You can choose from any of the background or general skills, and you get one mustering out benefit from that. You guys are more than able to hit your 6 upkeep, even after dropping nearly $1,000 or almost 1 cred, paying off your buddy Talur. And if you wanted to, you could take the mustering out benefit of followers if you want some squib to follow you around. It's good buddies. That is totally fine, but it's not expected or required in any way.
I wouldn't mind having one as an expert.
Okay.
Like basically, I imagine Janusz is like talking to like a group of them after the fact, and it's like, this is the stuff we get to do. We're going through all these places in space, and like, we can drink and shoot and have fun, and this is a great lifestyle. Does anybody want to come? And maybe he attracts a follower that way.
For sure. Absolutely. There is a squib that will 100% be on board with the wild idea that you have here.
Okay. Cool. I don't know what they're an expert in, but they're an expert.
Okay. Cool. I will work on that for next session. So you have an expert.
Yeah, I haven't quite earned my Baron title yet.
I appreciate that you're saving that for a new term. That's pretty great.
Yeah. We're not going to get there, but yeah, it's something it's going to happen. He's going to make it happen. He has goals. Yeah,
I think Nabana will have more operational credits because none of the options speaks to me. So I'll have 2 credits every mission to to soften, to make deals.
Okay. What were you thinking about for Supeth?
Supeth is Major Supeth. Supeth was not just some grunt. So probably can throw that weight around if, we come into any rebel entanglements.
Well, then I guess next session has to have some New Republic entanglements then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that we can do. Cool. All right. Well, friends, with our last 10 minutes, I would love to do a bit of stars and wishes. We'll start off with wishes so we can end with stars. Wishes are things you'd like to see in the last session or any bits of the game that were confusing for you that we haven't already talked through and tried to fix so that I can address that for next session. Let's start with Greg. You got any wishes, Greg?
Rebel entanglements, just because I like the sort of strange angle that I've picked for the character where the rebels aren't fighting hard enough. But the Republic is, not true rebellion.
No. Hashtag not true rebellion.
Not a true rebellion anymore. And maybe a little bit more with the ship, a little bit as a pilot. It doesn't have to be like space combat. I know that can drag down a session pretty quickly. But some evasive maneuvers, some fun ship kind of scenes. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Cool. Thank you, Greg. Pavel, what about you? Do you have any wishes?
Yeah, I also wanted to say that some ship in difficult situations scene is obligatory since we are playing Star Wars. So there needs to be some blasters firing at our ship, and our ship doing something to deal with it. So converting shields to the aft, I don't know, boosting up engines. Something needs to happen with the ship, especially that we have a pilot. So I think that's my only wish. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Kai, what about you? Wishes?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I want to do the thing. We took the fuel refinery, so I'd love to have just a small scene of harvesting from a gas giant or whatever.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I want to use those astrogation charts and like go to across the drift or whatever. Like we have it. You know, he's going to be selling it to people, but we have access to something that no one else does. Let's take advantage of that somehow. We can go where no man has gone before or something.
Nice. Yeah, I'm into it. Then let's stick with you, Kai. So you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars. Do you have any stars to hand out?
Yeah. Okay. So Pavel, I mean, you sat through a tax sermon. I just thank you for sitting through a tax sermon. Oh my God. No, I love the way that you're, you know, we could have just been like, this is D&D. Like, we see them, we kill them, let's go take the stuff. But you wanted to negotiate, and like you did a really good negotiation to get all this information before we landed, and then you were distracting them. And I just thought it was a much better way of doing the thing than just being like, oh, you're in the way, I'm going to shoot you. I liked that. Let's see. Greg, well, first of all, Greg, like, you've got a great little voice for your character. I appreciate the effort for bringing those things in. And what was it? It was that moment where Banu was like, Korat or whatever, and you like immediately turned to walk away. Like, that was spot on. And then, of course, you know, flying casual as we arrived. I love that. So
yes, good reference.
Yeah, I loved the weird aliens. Like, if you hadn't included a link, I would have been like, wow, Rich is really imaginative.
I'm not that imaginative, but thank you.
You are, but I was just like, wow, these are some weird guys. But you, like, I don't know, you made them into something completely unique. And thank you for letting me introduce the captive squib. So.
Oh, that really, like, that's my biggest star, is that really tilted the scene and gave it a lot of gas. That was fantastic. I mean, taking mental notes of, yeah, maybe I should have led with that. If I were a good GM, I would have already had that in my hand. But the goodness of my GM is being smart enough to listen to smart folks that I'm playing with and use their ideas. That's my smartness. That was awesome, Kai. I really am glad you stuck that in. And I probably stole someone else's star there. Sorry. Cool. Pavel, did you have any stars?
Well, you stole one of mine. That amazing idea that Zai had about adding to the scene. In general, I really like the Janusz idea, because this is a complex character, not suited for fighting, but carrying this huge machine gun with him, which is like a character that is on all spectrums. Very interesting. And yeah, I think I played some sessions in Star Wars. I have never seen a Java character being played, so I'm really happy that you chose this one. It's really interesting. Great idea for Greg to bring in some Republic conflict into our game, some rebels, because it's Star Wars. We need to have some Empire and some rebels to be Star Wars, Star Warsy, and Rich a star for the setting. Yeah, the setting was alive. We went to some known planet, met some known races, dealt with them. I mean, exploded some of them, but it was cool.
Maybe the Uyghurs were asking for it. I don't know. Cool.
Hey, we're gonna sacrifice the squib to the great turtle.
But the great turtle needed it. They would not pay the Dax. Okay. Thank you so much, Pavel. Greg, got any stars left?
Oh, of course. Yanush, I loved Yanush's instinct to just fix or touch anything mechanical in the proximity. It was very Jawa, and then also just led to a lot of fun interactions. I love the just ambling through, like, they're dealing with a job. I don't care. I'm just gonna poke around in this guy's house. That was hilarious. And then Powell, when you called back to the, hey, there's spice on board, isn't there a smuggler compartment somewhere? To use that as leverage, that was just brilliant. I loved that callback. I that was great. And then the Uyghurs were hilarious, and now they're all dead. But I love this has come up before. We had an Athorian sales priest in another game, and now we have the Uyghur tax chaplains. I just love that meshing of commerce and religion in the Star Wars universe is hilarious every time it happens to me. So
I'd forgotten you also got to see the Athorian sales priest. Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. Well, this has been lovely, friends. What a great way to spend my Sunday morning here. I'm really glad that we swapped over to Rovers. I'm having a good time with a very, very, very flyweight system, but you guys make it fun. So thanks for playing, and we will finish this up next week.